Welcome to the Lifestyle Medicine Update. I'm Dr. James Meschino. The American Heart Association published 8 life essential recommendations aimed at helping people achieve a long, healthy life. So the 8 essentials include not smoking, regular physical activity, meaning about 150 minutes per week of moderate endurance activity, staying at a healthy weight or being near your ideal body weight around a body mass index of 25, healthy sleep patterns, meaning 7 to 9 hours per night, blood pressure in the healthy range, meaning under 130/80, blood sugar, blood glucose in a healthy range, trying to be as close to or below 90 milligrams per deciliter or 5 millimoles per liter, with a hemoglobin A1C, which is how much you're sugar coating the proteins in your bloodstream, trying to keep that percentage down around 5.1. Also, non-HDL cholesterol in a healthy range. That means having an LDL cholesterol that's low, an LDL cholesterol no higher than 2 millimoles per liter or 76 milligrams per deciliter, preferably below 1.5 millimoles per liter or 57 milligrams per deciliter. So those are the 8 life essentials. The American Heart Association feels strongly that if you can maintain those parameters, you're going to be in good shape going forward. So to test it, based on these recommendations, the UK Biobank study published results of their findings in February of 2023 in the Journal of the American Medical Association Internal Medicine Journal. The UK Biobank study followed 135,199 adults aged 55 years old who were free of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and dementia at the outset of the study. Now, they followed them for many years. The participants were divided into 3 groups based on their American Heart Association 8 Life Essential score. So they either got a score of low, moderate, or high. So if you got a high score, that's very desirable. It means a lot of those 8 essentials that they're recommending, you're following those guidelines and your blood work and your blood pressure is within those ideal parameters. So a high score is better than a low score. They also gave each participant a cardiovascular health score of low, moderate, and high, with a high cardiovascular health score being the most desirable. Low blood pressure, low LDL cholesterol, you're exercising regularly, your body fat is in the ideal range. After following these patients for many years, the results showed that a high cardiovascular health score was associated with substantially longer life expectancy and remaining free of 4 major chronic diseases for as long as possible: cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and dementia in both men and women. This was true for people of all social demographic backgrounds. That means it didn't matter what their level of education was or what level their income was at. If they met these 8 essentials, they had a better chance of having better life expectancy and quality of life. Individuals who had healthier diets and lifestyles, who naturally scored higher on measurements of cardiovascular health like blood pressure, blood sugar, LDL cholesterol, regular exercise, had exceptionally better health overall as the years went by compared to those with lower cardiovascular health scores. As one of the researchers commented, she said, men with high cardiovascular health scores tended to have an additional 7 years of life expectancy free of chronic disease compared to those who had lower scores. In women, the difference was even greater: 9.5 years of greater life expectancy and freedom from chronic diseases if you had a high cardiovascular health score versus a low score. Also, the number of years lived with chronic diseases was compressed in those with high cardiovascular health scores. That means they tended to have fewer years living with chronic diseases, but more years living free of chronic disease. This is called quality of life, or health span, or healthy life expectancy. It all means the same thing. It translates into putting in the effort through diet, exercise, and other lifestyle practices to maintain a highly functioning body and mind for as long as possible, and it seems to pay off. The UK Biobank study tells us that healthy diet matters, avoiding saturated fats, trans fat, fried foods, super sugary foods, alcohol, and so on, and that doing 150 minutes a week of moderate endurance exercise makes a difference. The same is true for keeping your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels in the ideal range through healthy diet, healthy weight, regular exercise, and medication if necessary. In the words of Dr. Joanne Manson, a lead researcher and professor at Harvard Medical School and Brigham and Women's Hospital, she said, Overall, the findings make a compelling case for the importance of lifestyle factors in extending health span and years free of chronic disease. It can be motivating to tell our patients that a healthy lifestyle not only extends life expectancy, but also extend years of health free of chronic disease. That's what we all want. Now, what's interesting is that a few months later, in July of 2023, the Journal of the American Medical Association published the results of another large study showing that in patients who are at high risk for cardiovascular disease, the meta-analysis showed that switching to a healthy, more vegetarian diet just for 6 months reduced the bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. It reduced the hemoglobin A1C, another important risk factor for heart disease, and it reduced their body weight to a significant degree. The healthy diet change also reduced the need for medication. The researchers remind patients that not all vegetarian diets are healthy. For instance, deep fried foods like French fries and potato chips, they're vegetarian, but they're not healthy. The same is true for foods that contain palm and coconut oil, like the Beyond Meat product line. Some of the healthier, more vegetarian diets that produced good results included diets that allowed egg whites and non-fat dairy products, as well as seafood and some fish, along, of course, with more vegetables, legumes like peas and beans, including soy and tofu products, some nuts and fruit and whole grain products. So there's now convincing evidence that switching to a healthier, more vegetarian diet doesn't have to be a complete vegetarian diet, just more vegetarian in nature, keeping the bad fats out, can appreciably improve your cardiovascular health score as it lowers LDL cholesterol and blood pressure and body fat in most patients. According to the UK Biobank study, these improved health markers bode well for more years of disease-free living, a longer lifespan, and healthy life expectancy. Once again, lifestyle medicine is good medicine. So I would encourage you to keep the 8 life essentials outlined by the American Heart Association top of mind in your quest for optimal health and longevity. So I've included the references for this information in the text below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.